Hi, my name's Josh Levine. I'm the owner of the Fortis Academy, and I'm going to go over our Fortis skill development system. The goal with this system is to allow associations to implement at either the 8U or even into the 10U, 12U, 15U, or Squirt Pee Wee Bantam levels a consistent skill development program. What we're going to be talking about today is our 8U skill development program, which comes into three different phases. We have a Mite 1, so very beginner, just starting out, Mite 2, second year of Mites, and then upper Mites, Mite 3 and 4. So their last 2 years of Mites, second and third grade generally here. We're going to go over how we put this program together, and then I'm going to show you a few examples of what these practice plans look like. So first off, I want you to know that when we put this skill development program together, we started with a macro viewpoint. We looked at what skills do we want them to be doing. We want to make sure we're doing skating work relatively consistently, because that is, if anything is required of early specialization, skating has the closest argument to that for athletes that play hockey. Learning to skate relatively on the earlier side prior to puberty is necessary. So we're looking at Mite 1 plans here, and our breakdown, you can see that we have 26% of the station-based work is deliberate skating work. We do gamification 65% of the time, however. We want to gamify it. Our biggest metric of success at the Mite 1 level is going to be retention. How many kids come back and sign up the next year? Our Mite 2 plans, you can see our gamification drops down to 51%. We maintain our deliberate skating work at 26%, and we're working on passing and stick handling, okay? We're not doing a lot of deliberate shooting work because the return on investment at the Mite 1 and 2 level on the ice is so low that we don't believe it justifies spending that much time doing that. The shooting technique should really be taught mainly off the ice, and at the Mite 1 and 2 level, there's probably a minority of athletes that are in a position strength-wise and mental maturity-wise in order to really get a good ROI in terms of our training time. Now, Mite 3 and 4, that's when things start to get a little bit more serious. We still have some good gamification throughout. We have some small area games, which we believe are really important, but we also have some full ice skating where we start out practices in different formations, whether it's in lines or in some other formations that we utilize, where athletes are getting up to full speed and getting some good skating work in there. Okay. And now I'm going to go over what some of these plans look like. I'll just give you a little bit of an overview. So we have our Mite 1 plans. We have about 7 of those, and those are very much station-based. We start with a game. That game could be done in one zone. It could be in 2 groups. It could be done in 3 groups, 4 groups. Really depends on really how many kids you have in your association and at your practices that you have to be accounting for. And our Mite 2 plans, similar setup where we get into station-based skill work to do our station-based skill work. We get into small groups and do either small games, some gamified stuff like tag, but then also our skating work and our passing and stick handling work. Okay, and then you can see here on our Mite upper Mite plans, we have a full ice setup, and then going into 5 different stations. These stations are going to be a little bit more on the deliberate side, but we're still looking to keep some of them gamified, and obviously throwing in some good small area games is going to be really important for the development of the players at this level. Okay, now one quick thing as we look at these plans for coaches, how this is meant to be. This is not meant to be a system where the coaches take it and that's it. They just do every single drill exactly as drawn up. These plans will work most of the time for most of the players. But what the coaches need to do is they have this, and then they can easily adjust by regressing or making a drill more difficult based on the groups that are coming through. You should probably have your groups on the ice if you're in 5 or 6 stations, split out by skill. Okay. And so those stations might adjust slightly as they move around. And in addition, the coach might look at a drill and just go, this is not going to work for our group today. We need to be doing something a little bit more difficult or a little bit easier. And so in that case, what we recommend is the coach takes that drill out, replaces it with their own, but keeps it within the same skill set. So if it's a passing drill, okay, we've deliberately put that passing drill in there, looking at the full sequencing of practice plans that we have, and we want them doing passing. We want them to deliberately work on passing in that specific station. And so if the coach does change it, we recommend that they change it within the same skill set. They don't go to something that maybe they're more comfortable with or that they kind of like to teach more. That's what we're trying to get away from, is just always going to where we have our comfort drills, the specific kind of skills we tend to like to work on. This is pushing us outside of that, looking at it from a top-down view and making sure that we are getting in all the different types of skills that we want to be getting in for the 8U upper mite or mite 2 or mite 1 levels. So that's a brief overview of our Fortis skill development system. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking to you soon.